I had a craving for my old chicken pot pie recipe. I have no idea where I got this recipe from, and it's actually in this old recipe book. I have another one up there that I'm trying to convert to digital scrapbooking, so this will be a great opportunity to convert this one to a digital scrapbooking page that I can view from my iPad. And so, comfort food, it's about as comforting as the amaretto that I have to put in my hot chocolate. I may have to have some of that before I'm done making this. Or the yummy munchies that our church buddies sent us. But notice the fudge is gone. The fudge was on there. And so here's the recipe. And I'm thinking ahead. It does say 3 cups of cut up cooked chicken. I have no idea how much chicken this is going to make, but I had some chicken, and you can see here that I just put it in here with some olive oil and salt and pepper. I'm not very fancy, and I'm just cooking it up so that I can cut it up later. And here's my pot. And I'm going to put in the next ingredients, and hubby's going to hold the phone so that I can work and point it wherever my hands are at. Now it says to put in 1/3 of a cup of butter, which says 5 1/3 teaspoons, which would be like cutting it off right here. Well, you know, we all know butter is so good for us. Actually, it just makes our food taste good, and I like to improvise my recipes, and I'm just throwing in the whole thing. Turn it on a low heat. I got 1/3 of a cup of regular flour. And then it said 1/3 of a cup of onions. Well, I had 1 onion left. I gotta go to the store. Happens to be a Vidalia onion. It don't matter what kind of onion. I would have normally used a regular, like white onion or yellow onion, but this is what I had. And I'll have to figure out, I'm gonna make mine overflowing. I tried to make it as small as possible because hubby doesn't like onions. And I'm just dumping it in there. And I'll put that in another casserole to be baked tomorrow, or put it in the crock pot for tomorrow. And then it says 1/2 teaspoon of salt and 1/4 a teaspoon of pepper. Well, this is kind of the way I do things. Take off the salt lid. Yeah, that's about 1/2. I think I'm good, don't you? And I am not the world's best cook. I don't like as much pepper. And 1/4 of a teaspoon is harder to judge, so it's just going to get a bunch of shakes. Let's put some more on our chicken that I'm cooking and turning over. And it says to cook. It's all sticking to my pan. It says to cook this. You want to get down in there, dear? It says to cook this until it's bubbly. So the butter will melt, the onions will kind of half cook, because they'll cook later in the oven all the way, and the butter will melt and it'll mix with the flour and it'll get bubbly. And when we get to that stage, I will come back on the video. So I'm glad you're here watching us make chicken pot pie. Okay, this is all nice and bubbly, and here is the next part of the instructions. It says to put in 1 1/3 cup of chicken broth. I'm just using that chicken broth, and so I'm gonna put that in because this is kind of getting a little bit where it was burning the butter, so I had to hurry. And here, dear, let my dear grab the video for a minute. And then it says to add 2/3 of a cup milk, so I'm just going to use the same. You know, I've had this since I got married. It's Tupperware, and all the things have grown off the sides, and it looks like I got 3/4, but you know, hey, it's okay. And I want a new one, and I just can't find one I like as good, and so I just am doing it. So I put that in here, and it says to go ahead and bring this to a boil and then let it boil for 1 minute. Now while it's doing that, I'm going to be stirring. My chicken's still over here cooking. It's looking rather good though, isn't it? I'll keep turning it. I will turn the rest of that later. And I want to show you what we are doing impromptu. This is the way I cook often. I had to do something with the onions, so I said, well, dear, let's put something in the crock pot. And then we'll put the crock pot in the refrigerator for tomorrow. And then when all we got to do is take it out of the refrigerator and plug in the crock pot, and our meal for tomorrow can cook. So far I have onions, and this is actually what they call chili meat. I was going to make chili with it. I don't think I'm making chili with it now. And hubby's over here peeling some potatoes, because you see these potatoes have got eyes on them, and they need to be made or we are wasting money. So hubby's working on that, and we're going to add that to the crock pot. Isn't that amazing? 2 meals with one. I have no idea what I'm doing with that. Oh, look here. You see this chicken broth? I can just put the rest of it in here. I don't know, chicken and chili meat. It will be fine. It's broth. I don't know. This may turn out to be the best recipe. This is how I often cook, and I can't duplicate things twice. Okay, we've boiled some hot water. This is a very necessary step for my hot chocolate anyway. So I'm putting the water in my hot cocoa, and then I've got my amaretto here. I'm going to give this phone to hubby again. And this is the very important necessary step. There's actually not enough liquor in there to, you know, get me schmoozed or anything, but it just makes it smell oh so good. So, you know, everybody needs a nice hot drink to sit down to after you've been slaving in the kitchen. So the next ingredient, we've got this over here, and it's been bubbling for a minute. Here comes hubby. And the next thing it says to do is to add 1 whole carrot. And so I don't know how much a whole carrot is, and I made plenty of extra. And I'm aware that this recipe makes more than I can fit into my wonderful pot pie thing. So I'm just putting some in there, and then the rest, you know, we're getting 2 meals out of 1. It's going in over here. And the same thing with the celery. It said to add 1 chopped celery, so we're just putting in the celery. You know, I don't know, that might be 1 chopped, and we're sticking the rest over here. I have to figure out the seasonings for this later. Sometimes I just play. You know, that'll have to be, of course, sugar and pepper and whatever other seasonings. Then it said to add a can of green beans. Well, I don't have canned green beans around the house. I need to turn this down so it doesn't bubble so much. But I have these frozen green beans. I love these. I can just eat these for a whole meal, and I eat them all the time. I'm addicted to them, and so I just microwaved them and chopped them up, and you know, we'll put some of those in here too. As I said, I'm aware this makes more than I can fit in my pot pie, so you know, green beans are also great for this. You know, just 2 days at 1 meal, and we'll stir this up. I have no idea what I'm doing with this. It's the same ingredients except for the beef. It should be good when I get done. Oh, and except for the potatoes, hubby has all the potatoes skinned, so these are going to go in the crock pot after I chop them up. And then it says 3 cups of meat. I have no idea how much meat this is, but this meat turned out really good. Hubby and I have been eating it. We've just been... So the phone ran out of space and the video stopped, so I had to run and get the videos off. And so we're going to finish up this step. I'm stirring in the carrots, the celery, and the green beans. And the chicken, I said it calls for 3 cups. We like small pieces, and these aren't very small because I didn't feel like standing here forever, so I'm kind of going through it with my fingers. But then it says to add this to this fun mixture, which is the innards 2/3 of our yummy, yummy, yummy chicken pot pie. So, well, I don't know. Don't you think this is about 3 cups? Sure. Hubby's shaking his head. He's being good and not talking on the video so he doesn't make any mistakes. And so we're gonna... His face is funny. Okay, so we are going to stir this all in, and now my fingers are all icky. I'll have to wash them. And the instructions say, you saw I had stuff all over my instructions. That's how they get dirty. That's why they're in the plastic, so I can wipe them off. It says stir in chicken and pour into pie shell. Well, I will come back when I have my pie shells ready, and we will stop this video for now. So here we are. I have the potatoes all chopped up, ready to go in that pan. Here is my pie crust. No, I do not make my own pie crust, but it's on my pan. I have my toaster oven preheating to 425 degrees, and I'm going to give this to hubby. Oh, one more thing. All the pretzels disappeared while we were gone, I noticed. I didn't see them disappear, but I went ahead and I figured since they disappeared, I should get a piece of this yummy, it's some sort of banana, or not banana, pumpkin roll with nuts on it. It's real good. I thought I would treat myself. Okay, I'll go on a diet tomorrow. Here's the phone, hubby. Now, as I said, all of this, oh, look, it's so good. Let me tell you, this is so good. I could eat this right out of this pan. It's supposed to go in this pie shell, but it won't. I made this recipe enough times. Yeah, maybe it will, since I cut down on... Yeah, it's not quite going to go. I kind of thought not. So hubby and I will eat this, because see, it's getting ready to roll out the oven. So this is yummy. Eat it just like it is. Always makes too much. It's really yummy. So here's my other pie crust. And I kind of go around the edges and lift it up a little bit. Make sure it's going to come out of here. I hope it comes out. Yeah. Oh, see, that's what you don't want to do. So then you just turn it over on top. And you get the darn thing to come out. There. Beautiful. Huh? Just beautiful. I'm going to figure out where this piece came from and stick it back in. Yeah, we're not very germ aware over here. We did wash the potatoes, though, because I noticed when hubby went to grab the phone, he set one down on the sink. So you just kind of seal the edges. If you can, it's a good idea. This edge over here is not sealing very well. Just kind of scrunch them together. Otherwise, it's all going to bubble out. Okay. Beautiful, beautiful. Wipe my hands off. But if it does bubble out, that's okay, because that's why we put it on a pan. So, potatoes, move out of my way. And putting it in our toaster oven. You can use the big oven, especially if you make more than one. Temp is 35 minutes. So right now it's preheating. It should be preheated soon, and that'll take off and cook for 35 minutes. And we'll show you what it looks like when it comes out when we eat it. Now the potatoes I've chopped up. I didn't know I was going to be making 2 recipes, actually. This isn't a recipe. This is like a concoction. And hubby can tell you my concoctions usually turn out better than my recipes. You just take things you have in your house and you throw them in there. Okay. Potatoes, or however many we had that were left over. And we're going to stir this up. And I'll have to figure out what else to put in here. We have this stuff here. These are actually real herbs that we grew in our garden. And I've been wondering what to do with them. Ooh, rosemary sounds like it might be good in there. I'm just going to put a little bit, though. That's a little bit. Parsley, Italian parsley. I could put it on there, but it usually doesn't have any taste, so that's more for decorative. How about a little bit of sage? Fresh sage from the garden. Just a tiny bit, because who knows how potent that'll get. And I have some boxwood basil. Oh, there it goes. Cooking for 35 minutes now. And I don't know. I have no idea. I just need to use up these spices that we accidentally grew. My friend said, I bet you herbs would grow there. Sure enough, they did. But I couldn't get anything else to grow there. So we just put them in these jars from stuff that we bought in the store. It kind of worked out well. And salt and pepper. I don't know. I probably won't add butter. I could. Butter would be good in here. I'm trying to think of what else to put in here. This is, a double-fisted method. And the dogs are still underfoot, wanting food. So I will stir this up and think of what else to put in here. Maybe some butter, maybe some other seasonings. Maybe I have, this might be good. Some Flavor Booster, the vegetable one. Those are pretty good. Garlic would be good. Oh, I got some garlic. Ooh, and I got some cilantro. I love cilantro. I buy these fresh things like this. And I'm just going to put that in there. Just a little bit. And garlic. Got some freeze-dried garlic. I'll put some of that in there. That'll be good. Oop, not too much. And about that much. And I don't know what else. I'm going to look around. And generally what happens is tomorrow, I put tomatoes in there, but my husband does not like tomatoes. So I may put tomatoes in my version of it. And when I come home for lunch tomorrow, I will taste it and see what other kind of spices I might need in here. So this is pretty good. There's the lid. And it's ready to go in the refrigerator for tomorrow. We'll see you later. Fortunately, the shelf in the toaster oven was up here, which caused the top of our chicken pot pie to burn, but we will just scrape off that part. And that's a bummer because usually it comes out beautiful. But I told you I wasn't a professional. But the innards is still really, really good.
Yes.
He had to poke him. So you just this is kind of, not a good example. But you just kind of cut it up. And this stuff just falls apart. And I'm telling you, though, it's really good. So I'm going to kind of take off that part of the top that's burnt. And and then I usually put it in bowls because it falls apart. So I'm telling you, what happens is the pie crust, which we have to get rid of some of it, is usually kind of like chicken and dumplings. The dumplings, it kind of acts like dumplings, which is a bummer. We have to take off the burnt stuff, but it's still really, really yummy because we got the bottom part. And so here's my leftover chicken pot pie I'm getting ready to have for lunch. And here's this surprise stuff. And it's smelling up the house wonderful. I guess this is goulash or soup. I don't know. But it looks good this way, but I'm thinking with a red meat, the broth should be red. And so I found some tomato juice. I often use that V8 juice. And I'm going to put that in there. And it needs a lot more salt, pepper, seasonings. So I'm going to work on adding stuff until this liquid tastes good. But even that right there made it look a lot more yummy. It's already yummy. I already tasted it. So, soup for dinner, anyone? It looks really yummy. Okay, here it is again. I've played with it some more. I've put some onion powder in it and garlic powder, a little bit of chili powder also because I thought it needed a little bit of kick, some more salt and pepper. And then I was thinking it's still not quite got any interest to it, so I had some leftover Mexican dip that's made with refried beans and cheese and cream cheese and sour cream, and I put about a cup of that in here, and I'm telling you, that was the magic trick. I don't know. You just go to the refrigerator and find leftovers, start throwing it in until it makes something yummy, and now I can't wait for this to finish and come home after work to eat. Oh, this is perfect now.